We we indeed have some news to discuss. Some interesting news to say the least. Yeah. Let's do it. Welcome everybody to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcast from, and of course on the Genreverse YouTube channel, part of the big LRMonline.com family. Go there every day for all entertainment news, needs, opinions, celebrity interviews, podcasts, and more. I'm Kyle at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. That's Manny at Manny Gomez Media on Twitter. And yeah, it's Monday, so it's like a box office day, but we've got more than just box office numbers, Manny. We've got something you told me last night that we've thought about in the past as a possible happening, but oh my God. There's a big theater chain parent company filing for bankruptcy. We'll talk about that after the numbers and then some HBO Max stuff. Did you watch House of the Dragon?
Nope, I did not.
Neither did I.
I was at a Upon a Burning Body show last night. So
I don't care about Game of Thrones, but it did crash the servers apparently yesterday. There was people having issues watching it. I'll probably talk to Brian about it tonight. But dude, do you know what the number one movie in America, or excuse me, in the North American domestic box office was this weekend? Dragon Ball Superhero.
I'm watching that tonight.
$20 million. Not too shabby for an anime film. I mean, it is Dragon Ball, quite possibly, at least here again in the North American market, one of the biggest, if not the biggest anime. I know My Hero and One Piece are major hits here in North America as well, but this is definitely more mainstream than One Piece. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Bringing in 20 million, Beast, which has Idris Elba in it. And a funny story, he and his daughter did not have great chemistry on set, so she didn't get to be in the movie. Hey, it's just business. It's just business. But a lackluster weekend overall. I mean, the number one movie did do more than last week's number one, which was Bullet Train. It brought in 13, but the previous week when Bullet Train was new, it brought in 30. I think this weekend's box office leads into our next story pretty well. What do you think about it, Manny?
Yeah, so let's talk about those numbers. Look, I'm not against Dragon Ball or anything like that.
No,
because I'm watching it tonight with a couple of friends. But man, like for a movie with Idris Elba to underperform that much against it really speaks to the to where we are with cinema, because it's interesting that just to see. But again, I can't blame people, because it's not that interesting of a. I don't think that Beast was that interesting of a film. But I guess overall, what I'm trying to say is to see that the highest performing movie only did $20 million. Kind of like, that's rough.
Yeah.
And I will say though that we did go to the theaters this weekend 3 times to watch Fall. We watched Bullet Train. We hadn't watched it yet, and we watched Bodies, which was actually very well done. Let's just say that. Orphan First Kill also came out, but it was also available on Paramount Plus. It had a good twist, but the delivery was all messed up. But yeah, and yeah, that does actually lead us into our next topic. And if you look at the numbers from this weekend, they have a point.
Yeah. So for those that don't know what we are talking about, we have Cineworld, the parent company of Regal. This is the second largest theater chain. They're London owned. They look to be filing for bankruptcy protection, looking at securing some capital, probably unloading some assets, selling things off, closing, restructuring, all of that. They did state in a statement this morning overseas, like I said, they're London based, that Cineworld and Regal theaters are, quote, are open for business as usual and continue to welcome guests and members. The strategic options through which Cineworld may achieve its restructuring objectives include a possible voluntary Chapter 11 filing in the United States and associated ancillary proceedings in other jurisdictions as part of an orderly implementation process. It's a bunch of standard issue business jargon with that, but I could already hear people, oh, how could this be possible? Look at how great the box office has done this year compared to last year. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. Outside of tentpole movies, which for many years have been feeding the majority of theater business, your Marvels, Star Wars, DC, things like that. However, you still had people supporting horror movies, kid movies and things. This year, the top 10 movies, the number one grossing domestic only, Top Gun Maverick, was $683 million. That's great. And then you look at Doc Strange at $411, Jurassic World at $373, The Batman at $369, Minions at $350, $332 for Thor. Spider-Man No Way Home also came out in 21 and it made a butt ton of money. Sonic 2, $190, $148, and then you go back to 2020. That's all 2022. Sorry. Looking at 2021, you get a lot of the same. A real big one, some twos, although in 22 we had some 300 millions, and then a bunch of 100 millions. Nothing there, right? Get back to before the pandemic, and let's see what we're looking at. So 2019, 853, 543, 454, 34, 426, 390, 390, 355. These are massive numbers. It's not until you get to the number 10 movie that you drop below 300 million. And it's also a much bigger, it's still all sequels and big IP, but you've got kid things in 2019 like Frozen and Toy Story 4. You have a couple of the Disney remakes, some Marvel, a Star Wars movie. It Chapter 2 was actually in the top. Yeah, guys, a horror movie, a sequel horror movie was in the top 10 for 2019. And so the whole point is that they're not making as much money these days as they used to. And that results in having to make changes. I mean, it's not that surprising that they would be filing for bankruptcy after the couple of hard years of peak pandemic, and then literally just people being willing to wait for movies that aren't big on screen. And I'm kind of guilty of that too. I can't remember the last family comedy movie that I went. I used to go see Adam Sandler movies in theaters. I used to go watch Jim Carrey stuff, and I'm guilty of saving my ass in the seats for big screen explosions and stuff too, Manny. But damn, man, what do you think about the bankruptcy filing?
It makes sense if you look at the schedule coming forward, and you kind of can forecast things based on what a Thor did, and you can compare it to like a Black Panther or a Black Adam, for example. You start thinking, it's like, well, we probably are not going to make as much money as we have in previous years. Sure, you can kind of guess also how Halloween Kills is going to do, and films like that, but despite the fact that you have a DC and a Marvel blockbuster coming out, there's not much to say that it's going to do any better than a Thor. I think, really. Yeah.
And especially with Black Panther having at what we'll call a mild controversy and the fact that there are a lot of people upset that they did not recast T'Challa, and those feelings are very, very strong in groups that supported the recast thing. So
they're gonna go watch that. That's.
Oh, not saying that they're not going to go watch it, but will it do anywhere near what the first one did? Will it do anything near what even say Spider-Man No Way Home did, or will it be more like a Doc Strange?
It probably will be more of a Doc Strange, I think.
That's my feelings too,
and also just the feeling that, just and again, I can't even blame studios because trying to get all these movies out during the pandemic, and wrapping them up. You and I have talked about it many times. The quality of the films has definitely gone down a little bit, and the amount of films definitely have gone down a bit. And it makes for a little bit of a slower year. Like I think even Batman, for example, the Batman would have done better if it was if it was released this month rather than back in April.
And not only that, if it had more than the 45-day window set up for theaters only, because
honestly I think 45 days is fine for theaters at this point. If we've seen it by the numbers, unless you're Top Gun Maverick,
right,
you're not getting that much more revenue after 45 days.
I would say with this caveat to it, it shouldn't be going to subscription streaming after 45 days. If you are going to keep 45 days to home video digital, that I can kind of understand, but you still want to sell it or rent it for money versus throw it up on your streaming service.
Yeah, but I mean, streaming is also just another way of the future for the way that they have to market things, because they have to make money off of the streaming service. You have to get subscriptions, which is why you have things like Game of Thrones still on there, or you have like a dual release on Paramount Plus for Orphan First Kill, because it's not necessarily going to do that great in theaters, but it's gonna give you some good numbers in streaming. And to that point, Disney not releasing Prey in theaters, I think, was such a disservice to theaters, period, because it was such a great movie. It's been critically acclaimed. It's been audience praised for the last few weeks, and can you imagine, even if it did not that great numbers first week, audience's reactions would have pushed it for a good second week. And I think maybe it also reaches 100 million, maybe a little bit more too. I'm not sure how much of a wide
appeal
it has, but I think the word of mouth, I think the fact that it's an all Native American cast, I think that because it was a Predator film and because of just the word of mouth, kind of like I mean, I'm not saying it would ever do numbers like The Greatest Showman did, but it didn't really do well first week, but just the amount of positive feedback for the next few weeks and made that film do really, really well. I think Prey could have, I mean, just one movie in a giant fishbowl, I know, but it makes an impact. It shows you that you need to put your damn movies in theaters and not just take them straight to streaming. I think that's my feeling, because I am very much a person who likes to watch everything in theaters, and I think Prey would have been fantastic in theaters, especially in one of those sound specific rooms that we watch things in all the time. So it's kind of frustrating to see this, and then to think that there's, especially Disney, doesn't think that needs to be putting films in theaters anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the issues is that streaming doesn't make as much money, but people or companies have invested so much into it that they got to try to make something out of it. And we've all been paying attention to the Warner Warner Brothers Discovery merger and the kind of like shift in streaming focus for HBO Max. They've been doing a lot of purging of movies, shows, and animation has taken a huge hit. And Joseph Jammer Medina, who is one of the contributors, former editor-in-chief at the website, does the Breaking Geek Radio podcast with a couple of other great guys. Check out that and subscribe, follow all the good stuff. Retweeted out a person that tweeted a list of a lot of animation that is being axed over at HBO Max, and a lot of people are saying that this is these aren't just like being cut and can go back to like Cartoon Network or something. A lot of these were like sold exclusively to HBO Max. There's word that it's all being done for tax write-offs and things like that. And let me preface by, before I go into the business side of it, that I think what HBO Max and Warner Brothers Discovery are going through is going about it the wrong way. It's going way too fast, and there is not enough communication between the company and the consumers. There's not. But that being said, I get it. They the previous leadership went all in on this. It's not making them the money they had thought they had hoped. You cannot make money off of putting the Batman on HBO Max like you do when you sell it on home video only, or you know it takes a year before it hits its first subscription service. People generally didn't want to wait a whole year for that or longer, so they would Redbox it at least, or digital rental, if not buy the rights to watch the movie whenever the hell they wanted via physical media. Because guess what, digital things can go down. Look at the PlayStation stores, movies and shows. So please, people, buy physical media. It's the only way to guarantee your media collection legally. And you can back up your own physical media to digital legally. But anyways, I get it, man. I get it. It sucks. I'm not saying that this is the right way, and it's definitely not the best way to. They're sucking at the communication aspect of it. But it takes money to make things, and if you can't make money back on those things, how are you supposed to make more things? And again, once again, before people in the comments, oh, the pay, I get it. Look, I also wish CEOs and executives across all sorts of industries would freeze their pay, freeze executive pay, redistribute. I wish that stuff would happen too, but it's not. And there's no legislation coming, especially, I mean, maybe legislation one day for pharmacy or something, pharmaceuticals or something, but for movies and entertainment, no one. If that's like when Congress got involved with baseball steroids. Like if Congress started getting involved in Hollywood executive pay, I would be pissed. I would be super pissed, because that's not in their wheelhouse. That's not their lane. Just like steroids and baseball was not Congress's lane. So that's not going to change. And you saying, oh, I'll just pirate stuff. Well, if they don't have any money to make things for you to pirate, you won't pirate shit. And then I'm stuck here with no new content except for the ever worsening spiral of anime obsession I have again to fill that void. Every time someone's like, "Oh, you're shilling for business," no, I'm shilling for myself, Manny. I want to be entertained, and I just happen to be willing to pay for it.
The thing is, there's been cuts all across the board. And a lot of us were very upset over Batgirl. You're going to have your group upset about animated series. You're going to have your group upset about, dramas and just a variety of things. And there's across the board, things are getting cut. and unfortunately, animation does not bring in the mass wide audience appeal that other shows do, or it's just not currently something that they can afford to do.
Yeah.
And when you're cutting out billions of dollars, you got to make those decisions. If you made the decision to cut out a full feature film that was already in post-production, you best believe some of these other shows that didn't require that much money are also going to be getting cut.
Every penny counts.
Yeah, every penny counts, and it's, you just got to give them time to kind of to reset and to reorganize their library to how they want to do things. And you never know, some of the things may come back, some of the things will never come back. They yesterday or sometime this weekend, they released kind of a sizzle reel about what they have coming up in the next year or so.
Oh yeah, with the like Last of Us,
The Last of Us
and stuff. Yeah,
they on that sizzle reel, we saw that some of the things are still going to survive. What was that show called? Tokyo Vice, a great show that not enough people are watching, is coming back for a second season. Pennyworth is coming back with a really weird title. Doom Patrol survived. Titans survived. And that's just to name a few. They have a few other original things that are coming back. The Spookies are coming back. So they're like, so a lot of the projects that they had already in the works are still gonna happen. It's just some things that are on paper easy to cross off are getting crossed off immediately. Yeah, and that's just what it is. It's business. And it's just business.
It sucks.
As upset as we can get, because we enjoy a lot of those things. We have to understand that it's either, kind of like you said, it's either they do this or we just don't have anything at all. Because who knows, maybe that business model that HBO Max had pre-merger, we just didn't know it wasn't going to work. And they would have ended up crashing and burning.
I knew.
And so to do it this way, I mean, there's a reason why they had to sell, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Let's just put it that way. It's a terrible situation, but
you can look at how long Netflix has run in the red and all their financial issues and the things that they're dealing with budgets and shows. And like I said guys, we are on the side of the consumer. We just happen to understand that we need the people that make the content to have the money to make the content that we all want. And even beyond that, you and I often talk about projects are bigger than a writer, a director, or an actor, that there's photographers and videographers, there's set designers, costumers, like there's so much that goes into a movie, that it sucks when they get canceled, when they do bad, when they flop, it sucks, period. And seeing all these projects go through the same thing, I get it. But I tell you guys, once again, please understand this for your own archive and collection, so that way you never run out of entertainment. Support what you love responsibly with money. I'm not saying if you don't have the money to buy a Blu-ray, I'm not telling you to put yourself at risk for a movie or series. But if you love something in entertainment, pay for it. And then by all means, please do buy a physical copy, so that way when some service goes under, when some company sells, when something happens like what's happening to these animation shows, and I know a lot of them were never even offered on physical media, and that's a huge problem. I hate that the Disney Plus stuff isn't on physical media. At least I can go buy a Stranger Things DVD or Blu-ray set. Can't do that with the Mandalorian, but do that whenever you can buy physical. Whenever you can buy a digital code or something that allows you to download the movie or something legally, where you can house it in your house. Do that. You're gonna protect yourself, and your we'll call it a quote unquote investment, and two, you'll support what you like and hopefully enable them to do more of it. I don't know. Man, I wish I could get into a conversation on some big like news network or channel with some people in that industry and really like pick at these things, because we've seen it in music, we've seen it in movies and TV, and now we're all running head straight into the same wall with gaming, because consumers want more for less money. And it doesn't work. That math, no compute.
No, but at the same time, the consumer is also struggling to get gas in their cars, to get groceries, and to get. I
understand that, but this goes back before that. Like I pointed out, the music industry alone.
One of the things that it's getting cut out first is obviously a trip to a theater, which can cost the average family a lot. Sports events cost families a lot. So. Mm-hmm. But
I get it. I like I said, I do not burden anyone that cannot go out and see things, but especially with gaming, if you're going to spend $20 a month on a subscription service, why not save for 3 months and buy the actual game you wanted? I mean, anyways. I guess that'll do it for us today, unless you got anything else you wanted to bring up, Manny?
Nope, that's it.
All right, guys, kind of a heavy day, lots of numbers, lots of news stuff, but I like conversations like this, and I would love for those out in the audience to join in the comments in this conversation. Let us know what your thoughts are, how you feel about it. Does my math no compute? Because I would love to see a different angle of this. And you guys can also, besides leaving those comments down below videos on the Genreverse YouTube channel, subscribe if you haven't already. We're at $3.99. Help us break 400 today, please. You can also comment on your favorite podcast app, Google, Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, all of that good stuff. We've got great shows like Breaking Geek Radio, which is like long form everything in news, and usually like a movie or TV review. They'll be going up on Thursday this week for scheduling instead of Friday. Daily COG, you guys know that, you're watching it. The Cantina Star Wars news and reviews. Marvel Multiverse Mayhem does Marvel news and reviews, and of course AVR, Anime-Versal Reviews, does anime reviews. We have Genre Shot trailer reactions, AVR squared anime reactions as well on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. All of that information is down below, and of course check out LRM Online, LRMonline.com every day for news, interviews, leaks, rumors, all of the above. It's a great website. Do that. Manny, anything else to say?
Nope. Happy Monday, everyone.
Yeah, hope you guys have a good one. We probably won't see you tomorrow, but we'll hopefully be back on Wednesday. Bye.